1, dividing radicals, I'm going to do a few problems that a student asked help on. Okay, so when dividing radicals, there's not just a very straightforward way. You kind of have to simplify as you can go, looking at different strategies. So in problem number 5, we see that we have perfect squares in the numerator and in the denominator. So the first thing we're going to do is simplify the numerator. The square root of 25 is 5. And down here we have 3 times the square root of 16, which is 4. 2 times 5 is 10, and 3 times 4 is 12. This fraction can be further simplified by dividing each, the numerator and denominator, by 2. So our final answer is 5, 6. In problem number 9, we don't have perfect squares. Our numerator cannot be divided by our denominator. Therefore, we try to see if we can just simplify the radicand. So the square root of 10 cannot be divided by a perfect square. So that's just going to stay the square root of 10. But the square root of 13 can be divided by the square root of 16. 16 times 2 equals 32. So now we have the square root of 10 over 4 divided by the square root of 2. The 4 came from the square root of 16. And now we can divide the numerator by the denominator. So our coefficient here is just 1/4. And 10 divided by 2 is 5. We can rewrite this without the coefficient and get the square root of 5 over 4. And that's our final answer. For number 10, again, we cannot divide the numerator by the denominator. So instead, we are going to simplify the numerator if possible. In this case, it cannot be divided by a perfect square. But the square root of 45 can be rewritten as the square root of 9 times the square root of 5. So now we have, and sometimes it helps to have that coefficient in front, so I'm going to write it with the coefficient in front. The square root of 9 is 3. And I have the square root of 5. The square root of 5 divided by the square root of 5 equals 1. Anything divided by itself equals 1. So we're just left with 1/3. Number 15, we have to simplify our numerator first. So 5 times the square root of 4 is 2. And then we have, this is a perfect square, so we can simplify our denominator by taking the square root of 25, which is 5. And now we have 10 divided by 15. And that can be further simplified by dividing the numerator and the denominator by 5. So once again, we have an answer of 1/3.